why is DC Studios making a Mr. Freeze movie? See guys, some interesting news came out this past week that DC producers Matt Reeves, James Gunn, and Peter Safran were possibly working on a Mr. Freeze movie. Now, is this a Mr. Freeze solo movie set in the DCU? Is this a Mr. Freeze movie set in Matt Reeves' The Batman universe? Or is this something entirely different? Production Weekly states that there's a listing for a potential film titled Mr. Freeze. Yeah, Mr. Freeze spelled M-I-S-T-E-R instead of M-R and dots. Weird. The report continues to say that Six in Idaho is attached to the project, which is the production company with Matt Reeves. The project also has Matt Reeves, James Gunn, and Peter Safran listed, as well as DC Studios, DC Entertainment, the Safran Company, and Warner Bros. Television. Now, the most interesting thing about this is the fact that it is listed as a full feature-length film instead of a TV show. Now, could this movie be set in James Gunn's DCU? I think that is a likely possibility because Mr. Freeze could be a great villain, especially in a more fantastical setting that James Gunn is aiming for with Brave and the Bold. It would be pretty crazy if we had Brave and the Bold release and then afterwards we got like a Mr. Freeze movie setting up an eventual Brave and the Bold sequel. It would also be pretty random, but hey, an authority movie is also pretty random. James Gunn, he does not shy away from bold, creative decisions, so this seems kinda up his alley. Now, I must say, this is like the least likely scenario. I don't see it being the case, but could this Mr. Freeze movie be set in the Batman epic crime saga? See, Matt Reeves, he recently stated that the Batman Part 2 would take place during the winter around Christmas to New Year's time. And there have been many rumors that Mr. Freeze is going to be the main villain or one of the villains in the Batman Part 2. Similar to having the Penguin in the Batman and then giving him his own show afterwards, Matt Reeves could do the same thing for Mr. Freeze. There's a lot of potential here for a standalone Mr. Freeze project, as his origin and story are both very captivating. Now, I don't think the project should be a full feature-length film. I think an 8-episode show would be way better and would allow Mr. Freeze's story to be like stretched out in a good way. Because I think his origin story could actually be really interesting as a show. Imagine like going in depth instead of just, one movie or one episode. We actually get to maybe see Mr. Freeze's whole story with his wife, Nora, like maybe see them with each other for a little bit. Then, she gets sick, and then we really see Mr. Freeze devolve into the state of villainy. I think that would be great. This would also continue the trend of solo Batman villains shows in Matt Reeves' The Batman universe, and hey, that's awesome. If Matt Reeves is planning to do a trilogy with his Batman movies and have a bunch of villain spin-off shows alongside it, I think that would make his Batman universe very in-depth and well-rounded. And hey, I'm a Mr. Freeze fan. I would love a show that is all about him. Heck, I would love a show that is all about the Riddler, like continuing his story, maybe a show about Scarecrow. Like, it would be really cool to just see this universe, this Gotham, through the eyes of all these different villains. Like, we're seeing Gotham through the eyes of Penguin right now, like the underbelly of Gotham, but how about Gotham through the eyes of a scientist who is desperate to save his wife, or a psychopharmacist who is trying to figure out how much fear he can put into the city. Like, there's so much potential with all these villains, and none of them have to really exceed the fantastical side of Batman. Like, Matt Reeves' universe could still be grounded. We could have a grounded Mr. Freeze. Scarecrow, he's already grounded. So yeah, they could definitely make this work. Now, another thing we must consider is, okay, this rumored movie is listed as Mr. Freeze, but it also might be like a cover-up title for the Batman Part 2. Like, Mr. Freeze, he may be the main villain, so they might have him listed down. So yeah, there might not be a Mr. Freeze movie, but just The Batman Part 2. Like Matt Reeves, he recently stated that they finally completed the script. Like, bro, after like 2.5 years, like this movie, The Batman Part 2, better be one of the best superhero movies of all time. Like with all this time and effort being put into it, I'm expecting an amazing movie. Like, come on, 2.5 years? But with all that information now considered, I think Mr. Freeze, this project being set in the Batman universe, is the most likely case scenario. But there's one other case that also might be true. I hope it's not, but we must talk about it. See, back in 2023, it was reported that director Mike Flanagan was working on a Clayface solo movie. This movie was reported to maybe be set in the Batman universe or be entirely separate. Now, there have not been any further developments on that project, but with this news of a Mr. Freeze solo movie and other rumors of other Batman villain projects, it might be possible that none of these movies are set in the Batman universe or James Gunn's DCU. So basically what I'm getting at here is maybe all these films are like totally separate and just random projects like Sony is doing with the Spider-Man villain movies, which I hope this is not true. Like all those movies from Sony that are like Spider-Man villains like Morbius, Kraven, like they're not that good and there's no clear direction and DC needs clarity right now. The last thing we need is a bunch of random projects, but I could see DC going down the road of where it was at back in like the early days of the DCEU, just announcing a bunch of projects and some of them being rumors, some of them being true, some of them happening, some of them not happening. So yeah, I hope we don't go down that route, but with the recent announcement of the Bane and Deathstroke team-up movie, it's starting to look that case. Like the clarity is being broken slowly, but we'll talk about that announcement next video. But for now, we actually got an update as I was recording this video about the Mr. Freeze solo movie. The announcement, is it true or was it just a rumor? See, on Twitter, or X if you're calling it that, a person asked James Gunn if the Mr. Freeze project is true. Is it happening? And James Gunn responded, I haven't heard that one, but there are a lot of rumors out there this week. Some of them are true, some of them are partially true, and some of them are not true at all. He continues to say that is not a bad idea, so I wouldn't say never, but no, there's no truth to it at all. So yeah, the Mr. Freeze rumored movie is not true, it's not happening, but do you guys want to see a Mr. Freeze project in the future? Do you want it to be a TV show or a movie? Let me know down below in the comment section. But for the Deathstroke and Bane team-up movie, if you want to hear my thoughts and theories on that, click on this video right here.